It's time now for Better Money with Joel Johnson. Today we're sharing some of the questions that Joel gets asked pretty often, a lot of them from our viewers. Joel is a certified financial planner and managing partner at Johnson Brunetti. Thank you so much for being here.
It's great to be back, as always.
So we've got some questions from viewers, and there's a theme. You get a lot of the same questions that get asked.
We do. We get a lot of the same questions. A lot of our viewers are just looking for good, simple financial advice on questions that hit them at home every day.
All right, so number one, let's start with Pam. And Pam asked recently, you talked about building a house as a reference to building savings. How do you know how much money should be in the foundation level?
So this is a little while back. We talked about thinking of your finances as a house, where you have a foundation, you have the walls, and then you have the roof. The roof is your growth stuff, growth stocks and things like that. The walls are things like income producing assets. The foundation should be your safety. And for a lot of people, the older they get, the higher percentage they should have in safe things like treasury bonds, fixed annuities, bank deposits, and things like that. So I would say for the average retiree, they should have at least 30% of their money in safe type of assets, and maybe higher than that depending on their risk tolerance.
All right, so Cindy wants to know if she should continue to pay for a 3-year-old whole life policy. She is 60 and the premium is over $4,000. So whole life policy, let's explain, that's not term, right? That means it's
not term. It means it is for your whole life. If you pay the premiums, it will be there when you die, and you will always get in a whole life policy more out of it than you paid in premiums. So hopefully when she bought this 3 years ago, she planned to have it for the rest of her life. The premium's pretty high, which makes me think it's a $75,000 or $100,000 policy. So if she planned to keep this for the rest of her life and do something for whoever the beneficiaries are, that's great. If this is just for burial expense or something like that, then maybe there's a better way to do it, because paying $4,000 a year is pretty expensive for a life insurance policy for a retiree.
For a retiree. I mean, maybe unless you want to just really, really leave something to your heirs.
Exactly.
All right, Clarence has a question. What is the best way for me to catch up on retirement building since I got off to a slow start? Fun fact, you got off to a slow start.
I did get off to a very slow start, absolutely. It didn't really start saving real hard until about 12 years ago. So I would say to Clarence, what he wants to do is sit down with a planner, do a financial projection, at least get a baseline of what he's supposed to save. Don't become overwhelmed or discouraged by how big that monthly number is. Just start with something. As a general rule, we want to save about 10 to 15% of your income, and it's never too late to start.
Mike wants to know if he should pay off high-interest credit cards before putting more in his 401k.
I'd like to see you do both, but let's get rid of the debt first. Absolutely. The debt, you will become a slave to that debt. The key is don't pay off the debt and then run it back up again. Pay off the debt, create an emergency fund, then save 10 to 15% in your 401k.
All right, good goals. And you have a guide. It's the Commonly Asked Question Guide, where more of these common sense questions and answers. You can email Joel and his team, bettermoney@wfsb.com, and you'll send it for free.
Absolutely. It's a great guide. It's got all the email questions and the answers from our viewers.
All right. Thank you so much, Joel.
Thank you, Kara.
That's Better Money.